Hi, so it is 11, so we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to this webinar on how to improve efficiencies, reduce food processing energy, water, and waste. My name is Jen Jones, and I will be your host. Before we begin, let's take a look at that trivia question. First and foremost, for those who may not know, ultra-processed foods are those that use multiple ingredients and require several processing steps. These include sodas, cookies, my favorite food, potato chips, and frozen dinners. So the answer to the trivia question, what percentage of ultra processed foods comprise the average US diet, is A, 60%. So before we begin, I have just a few quick items of business to cover before we get started. All attendees are automatically muted with their camera turned off. You can submit questions at any time using the question and answer button. If you are having technical difficulties or problems hearing or accessing the presentation, please use the chat pad and we'll try to correct them promptly. This presentation will last approximately 45 to 50 minutes, followed by a question and answer period. And again, you can ask questions at any time, but we'll wait to answer those questions until the end, which will allow us to move through our material quickly and efficiently. This webinar is being recorded and will also be loaded to the PennTAP website at a later date. And you will receive a follow-up email notifying you when that is available and of our upcoming events. So during today's webinar, I'm going to provide you with several project ideas that will increase the efficiency at your site, as well as pollution prevention techniques to reduce your overall environmental footprint. I will discuss energy efficiency in projects involving lighting, compressed air, boilers, and we have a few additional project ideas we're going to discuss that don't easily fit into any one category. And then we will cover several pollution prevention opportunities that may be present at your facility. These will include your refrigeration system, water conservation ideas, and waste management projects. I will briefly cover funding resources for some of the projects mentioned, and then I will conclude with a short overview of Pentap and the services that we offer. So let's begin. We're going to start with lighting. Lighting projects are a great way to increase efficiency and cut energy costs at your facility. Today, we will discuss 3 lighting projects: an LED upgrade, daylight harvesting and fixture reductions, and occupancy sensors. Upgrading the lighting in your facility to LED bulbs can reduce your lighting costs by as much as 30%. And depending on the lights that you have installed, it can be even higher. Your maintenance costs will also decrease because an LED bulb can last up to 50,000 hours. And I'd like to take a moment to put that in perspective for you. That means that a bulb that is on 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, may last you as long as 5.5 years. An LED upgrade can also decrease your refrigeration costs since they produce far less heat than traditional bulbs. This is of special concern in facilities where a majority of the building is refrigerated. As we all know, the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service requires that you have extremely bright lighting in all inspection areas of food processing facilities. The nice thing about LEDs is they do not lose their quality of light over time, unlike other lights, which begin to deteriorate soon after being installed. This means that you're always providing that required bright light. If you notice the pictures in the slide, you notice the difference between the lighting on the left when compared to the LEDs installed in the same area on the right. The lighting is crisp and clean and remains that way for the life of the bulb. We recently assisted a food manufacturer with an LED upgrade at their plant. This facility was lit with T5 and T8 fluorescent bulbs that were used 24 hours per day, 7 days per week. Upgrading these bulbs to LEDs saved the client $7,856 annually. And because LED bulbs generate less heat, this client also reduced their cooling cost in the chilled storage areas of their facility by $530. Other ways to reduce your lighting costs include daylight harvesting, reducing the number of fixtures, and installing occupancy sensors. Daylight harvesting is exactly what it sounds like. It is the practice of using the available daylight in your building whenever possible. Take a moment to think about your facility. Do you have areas with a lot of windows where the lights are being used, and are the lights even necessary in these areas? If the answer is no, shut the lights off and use the daylight. You may also want to consider reducing the number of fixtures if the lighting is too bright for a space to save on your lighting costs. Fixtures can often be reduced in areas such as office spaces, conference rooms, and break rooms. Reducing the number of fixtures and daylight harvesting are extremely easy projects to complete, and the payback period is immediate. The minute you stop using the lights, you will start to save money. Occupancy sensors are another great way to cut down on your lighting costs in areas that are not frequently occupied, such as your restrooms and warehouses. They will automatically turn the lights on when someone enters the room and turn them off as they exit. And once installed, occupancy sensors have been shown to decrease the lighting cost of a space by as much as 90%, with an average payback period of less than a year. Now we're going to move on to your compressed air system. Compressed air is often one of the most expensive energy-related costs at a facility. Air compressors typically have an overall efficiency of just 10 to 15%, but don't worry, there are several things that can be done to increase the efficiency of this system. The first and easiest thing you can do is to stop inappropriate uses of compressed air at your site. A use is considered inappropriate if it can be done more effectively or efficiently using another method. For example, are your employees using the compressed air to clean up their workspace instead of a broom? Or is the compressed air running to equipment that is not being used? The table provided here will show several inappropriate uses of compressed air with suggested alternative methods to perform that task. You may want to take steps to eliminate any appropriate uses. It's as easy as walking through your plant and identifying all compressed air uses. Be sure to check idle or abandoned equipment to look for an air supply that is shut off when not in use. For example, perhaps you are no longer running a production line due to the impacts of the coronavirus. You may be able to turn the compressed air off for this line until it is back in use. Observe your employees to see how they are using it. You may want to consult with a compressed air system specialist to see if other equipment like blowers or mechanical or hydraulic devices would be more cost-effective for those applications. You may be able to reduce the operating pressure of your compressor without impacting production. This can be achieved by reducing the pressure to match the required pressure of your machinery. It only takes a reduction in pressure of 2 psi to increase the efficiency by 1%. And along those lines, you may also want to consider installing a compressed air recovery system. These systems recovered compressed air from the high pressure processes in your plant for use in the processes that require a lower pressure somewhere else. You can also use outside air as intake air to reduce the compressor's workload. This is a quick and very easy way to increase the efficiency of your compressed air system. The average ambient temperature within a compressor room is approximately 70 degrees Fahrenheit, while the average annual outside temperature in Pennsylvania is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The colder outside air is denser and it requires less energy to compress, which increases the efficiency of the compressor. Capturing the outside air can be as simple as attaching one end of metal duct piping to an intake port and routing the other end through the wall or ceiling. It's important to remember that even on an 80-degree day, you will still increase the compressor's efficiency since the outside air is always cooler than the air in your compressor room, which can be as high as 120 degrees Fahrenheit on a hot summer day. Regular maintenance is also key to running your compressor efficiently. Activities such as checking your filters and condensate traps regularly, or changing the oil as specified in the owner's manual will increase efficiency. Also, you may want to consider using synthetic oil as it lasts longer and will save you on maintenance costs. Compressed air leaks can be one of the largest sources of wasted energy at your facility. As part of your maintenance program, you should routinely check for leaks in your compressed air lines. They often occur in areas where the compressed air lines are connected to other lines or equipment, or in areas where there is a lot of movement or vibration. Examples include the elbow of hard piping, the hose connecting to the hard piping, and the quick connects from the hose to the equipment. Leaks can cause your compressor to run more than is necessary and waste up to 30% of its capacity. The table provided here shows you the annual cost of one very small, one medium, and one large leak at a facility using a 50 horsepower compressor. I want to stress that the costs provided here are the result of one leak of each size, with one large leak costing over $1,700 annually. In total, these 4 leaks would cost the plant $2,295 per year. Leaks can be detected by simply running your hands along the lines in the equipment to feel for air, or through the use of an ultrasonic leak detector. A leak detector will allow you to quickly find leaks in hard to reach areas or noisy environments. And always remember, Pentap provides no-cost compressed air audits for small manufacturers. Once leaks have been identified, they should be repaired as soon as possible. Most leaks will cost less than $50, with most in the approximately $20 range. And you should always repair the largest leaks first, since they represent the greatest loss of air. We recently visited a food processing plant in central Pennsylvania that uses compressed air to power their production lines. The compressed air is on at this site 18 hours a day, 6 days per week. And while on site, 18 leaks were identified within this system. Now the leaks have been repaired. This plant will save $5,505 per year, and the simple payback period for this project was less than 1 month. Next, we will be talking about your boilers. There are several ways to increase your boiler's efficiency to decrease your fuel consumption and costs. The key to boiler efficiency is proper maintenance. Have the boiler serviced and tune up on an annual basis. Tuning up the boiler can increase the combustion efficiency and decrease your fuel bills by as much as 5%. Clean the tubes regularly and be sure to check for broken baffles. The tubes in the boiler pictured here became clogged with mineral deposits, causing some of the tubes to break. This may have been avoided with proper maintenance. Consider installing a stack thermometer and monitor the stack temperature daily. Rising temperatures indicate when it is necessary to clean your boiler. Check your flue gas every 6 months to determine if a tune-up is necessary and to ensure that your boiler is operating at an efficiency of at least 80%. This can be done by a consultant, supplier, or yourself with a flue gas analyzer. Pentap is also available to conduct a no-cost flue gas analysis for small manufacturers. The photos on the right depict the results of a flue gas analysis. As you can see, an analysis will provide you with a wealth of information, including the air to fuel ratio, the stack temperature, and the current efficiency of the boiler. Another thing you can do to increase efficiency is to reduce the steam pressure. Boilers operate more efficiently at a lower pressure. A drop in pressure of 40 psi will increase the efficiency by 1%. Begin by lowering the pressure in increments of 5 psi, allowing the boiler to operate for several days each time it is lowered. This will allow you to see if the system is meeting your operating needs. Also consider installing an economizer to reduce your fuel consumption. Economizers use recovered heat from the flue gas to preheat the water before it enters the boiler. Without an economizer, this heat is lost. There are grants available to help with the cost of purchasing an economizer, and Pentap is available to assess the boiler to see if this is the right option for you. Don't forget to think about those condensate tanks and return pipes. Are they insulated? If not, you are wasting fuel and throwing away money. The picture on the left is of an infrared image of an uninsulated pipe. The image clearly shows heat being lost from the pipe, with the center of it at 229 degrees Fahrenheit. This is not only a source of heat loss and wasted money, but it is also a potential safety hazard to your employees who may get burnt if they come in contact with the pipe. There are several types of insulation available. However, fiberglass insulation with a jacket, as shown to the right here, is inexpensive and is easily installed. The jacket will prevent moisture from reaching the insulation in the event of a water leak, and this type of insulation is easily removed for periodic inspections or maintenance. Pentap recently conducted an energy audit at a plant located in southeastern Pennsylvania. We took several images of the uninsulated pipes using an infrared camera. The infrared image shown here was taken at that site where approximately 221 feet of pipes were not insulated. 793 MMBTUs of heat was lost through bare pipes each year. Once the pipes were insulated, this client saved $3,795 on fuel oil annually and reduced heat loss to 114 MMBTUs. The simple payback period for this project was just over 1 month. Before we discuss pollution prevention, I would like to discuss a few additional energy efficiency projects that, once implemented, will help you reduce energy consumption and operating costs at your facilities. The first we're going to discuss is your process ovens. Many of you have them at your facility. There are very simple ways to ensure they are operating efficiently. Consider where they are placed. They should always be placed in a well-ventilated area to ensure the oven is operating efficiently. Improper ventilation can cause condensation to form within the oven, impact the quality of your product, and increase your operating costs. Also, be sure they're not placed near cooler areas within your facility. The cooler air will cause the oven to work harder to maintain its temperature, costing you more money and energy costs. Recovering heat from other processes is another great way to make your facility more energy efficient and to save on energy costs. Heat can be recovered from equipment such as your process ovens, your boilers, condensate return, or even your air compressor. Recovered heat can be used to heat your clean-in-place water, preheat intake air in your process ovens, or even help to heat your facility. On average, the payback period for such a project is 1 to 2 years. Consider installing variable frequency drives or VFDs on your pumps, motors, and your air compressors. They reduce energy consumption by adjusting the speed of, let's say, your pump to meet the actual demand that is required, as opposed to just running full bore continuously. VFDs can also be installed on equipment such as conveyors and mixers, and in some instances can lead to reduced downtime on your production lines. Finally, A tankless hot water heating system can provide an efficient way to heat hot water for your site. They are 99% efficient and can reduce your hot water heating costs by as much as 30%. There are several other benefits to installing such a system. Tankless hot water heaters can be installed where the water will be used, and multiple units can be linked together. So this means that if one breaks, you're not out of luck. You have hot water available at another station. And there is never a shortage of hot water, as the tankless system heats water as it passes through the unit, as opposed to heating a tank of water like your traditional hot water heaters do. Now we'll be moving on to several pollution prevention techniques that you can implement to reduce the environmental footprint at your facility. For example, have you considered your refrigeration system? The refrigerants used in these systems contain harmful chemicals such as ammonia. Undetected leaks can lead to increased greenhouse gas emissions, ozone layer depletion, and believe it or not, increased energy consumption as the system works harder to maintain the desired temperature. One of the easiest ways to prevent pollution is to routinely identify leaks within your system and repair them immediately as part of a preventative maintenance program. It is important to remember that reducing energy consumption will also prevent pollution, since it leads to reduced greenhouse gas emissions. Other ways to reduce the energy consumption of your refrigeration system include cleaning the condenser coils, lubricating the fan motors, and checking the gaskets and seals. Cleaning the condenser coils can prevent expensive maintenance issues such as compressor and fan motor failure, burnt wiring, and thermostat failure. Lubricating the motor will increase the life of the motor while ensuring it is, lubricating the fan motor, will increase the life while ensuring it is functioning as efficiently as possible. Checking the gaskets and seals around the doorways to your cold storage units will help the unit to maintain the desired temperature and lessen the load on your refrigeration system. Believe it or not, conserving water also prevents pollution. When you conserve the water you use, you are also reducing the wastewater generated at your facility. Wastewater often includes pollutants such as chemicals from cleaning products or dissolved solids in organic matter. There are several simple ways to conserve water and reduce your wastewater at your plant. First and foremost, how are you cleaning your equipment? Whenever possible, consider cleaning in place as opposed to disassembling and cleaning elsewhere on site. One of the easiest ways to not only conserve water, but also to reduce the contaminants in your wastewater is to implement dry cleaning and pre-cleaning procedures. Dry cleaning includes using steam or hot air, and it can also be used as part of your pre-cleaning process to decrease the solids in your wastewater. For example, you may want to consider scraping or vacuuming scraps of food off of the conveyor belt prior to sanitizing with soap and water. And remember, always consider using green products for sanitation purposes, as they reduce the chemicals present in your wastewater. Walk through your plant to identify areas where you can shut the water off when the equipment is not in use, or consider installing flow meters to track water consumption throughout your facility. For example, notice the bottle washer pictured on the left. As you can see, water is being used even though there are no bottles running through it. Shutting off this equipment when not being actively used would significantly reduce the water consumed and wasted at this station. The type of nozzles you are using can dramatically affect your water usage. Installing low volume, high pressure spray nozzles and spray guns on all cleaning equipment can reduce consumption by as much as 15%. Such nozzles would also be ideal on the bottle washer pictured here, as it would further reduce the water used at this station. In areas outside of your production floor, such as restrooms and break areas, replace the traditional faucets with low flow faucets. And you may also want to consider if you can reclaim processed water for use elsewhere. Could you use wastewater to clean your docks or old pallets? Could you install a reclamation system to allow you to use the water in a different process? For example, one Pentap client reuses clean wastewater in their chillers, which reduce the wastewater generated at their plant by 11% annually. Waste management goes hand in hand with pollution prevention. First and foremost, recycle whenever possible. This is the easiest way to prevent pollution and reduce your waste. Many do not realize there are recycling companies throughout the state that will purchase and collect your recyclable materials, which will reduce your operating costs. The items purchased include boxes, plastic, batteries, wire, scrap metal, and even those fluorescent bulbs once you upgrade to LEDs, to name a few. Likewise, how many of you are reusing your pallets and drums whenever possible? Reusing such items can decrease your environmental footprint, and believe it or not, there are companies that will purchase those from you as well. Be sure to consider the packaging used to ship and sell your product. Is it recyclable, or will it end up in the landfill? Is it biodegradable? For example, consider compostable bioplastics as opposed to traditional plastics. Switching from toxic chemicals to safer or green alternatives can also decrease the waste generated at your facility. Several non-toxic cleaners and degreasers are available on the market that will effectively sanitize your equipment. Alternatives to other toxic chemicals that may be in use at your plant, as well as clean greeners and degreasers, are available through the EPA's Safer Choice website. Process improvements can also reduce waste at your plant. You may want to consider pre-washing fruits and vegetables prior to processing to prevent contamination later in the production process. Could you change your production schedule to minimize waste? Is the equipment on your line reliable? Removing old or dangerous equipment can increase the reliability of your production line, leading to decreased waste. Pentap recently assisted a manufacturer in north central Pennsylvania with process improvements on one of their production lines. Several issues were identified with the equipment on their line that led to production starts and stops and wasted product. Once rectified, the client is expected to reduce lost product, such as ingredients, bottles, and boxes, but they will also be able to implement a production schedule that will minimize the wastewater generated during production. Overall, the facility is expected to save 263,640 gallons of water annually, which is equivalent to a cost savings of $5,787 per year. As I've said briefly here and there throughout our webinar, there are grants and funding available to help you offset the costs of several of the projects we have discussed today. Detailed information about each of these programs can be found on our website under the Energy and Environment tab. In addition, PennTAP hosts a webinar dedicated solely to funding resources every year in July. Today, we will briefly discuss 3 funding resources. Those include the Act 129 utility rebates, the Small Business Advantage Grant, and the Rural Energy for America Grant Program. The Act 129 utility rebates are available through the major utility companies such as First Energy Companies, Duquesne Light, and PP&L. There are slight variation to each company's rebate program, but in general, rebates are based on the kilowatt hours saved and can offset project costs by as much as 50%. The Small Business Advantage Grant will cover 50% of the equipment costs up to $7,000. To be eligible, your company must have fewer than 100 employees, and the project must decrease your energy consumption by at least 25% and save you $500 annually. The Rural Energy for America Program grant will cover 25% of the total project costs, up to $250,000. You must be a small business located outside of a town or city with a population of more than 50,000 people to be eligible. PennTAP works closely with these programs and is available to offer grant assistance or answer any questions you may have about the utility rebates. Our technical advisors are available to complete an energy assessment to gather the required data for your application, and will provide you with the analysis and reports needed for the grant application. PennTAP conducted an energy audit at a small manufacturing plant in Western Pennsylvania. We advised the client to upgrade their lighting to LEDs and help them with the Small Business Advantage Grant application. The company was awarded a grant of $4,846 and qualified for more than $4,400 in utility rebates. The project cost was just over $19,000, with an anticipated annual savings of over $11,293. The simple payback for their out-of-project costs was less than a year as a result of the grant funding, utility rebates, and annual cost savings from the lighting upgrade. We recently helped a company in Greenville to obtain grant funding to replace an oxidizer that would reduce pollution and energy at their site. Pentap determined that the REAP grant would be the best option for funding based on the size and timing of the project. We completed an energy audit at the site and assisted the client with the analysis and calculations. Pentap provided the client with a summary report to be included in their grant application. This company was awarded a $55,538 REAP grant and was able to save $43,053 in energy costs with the new equipment. I would like to take a moment to note that depending on the timing of your project and the type of project you are completing, you can use REAP, SBAG, and the Act 129 utility rebates in conjunction with each other. Before I conclude and answer any questions you may have, I would like to take a moment to tell you a little bit about PennTAP. We are a statewide technical assistance organization charged with supporting Pennsylvania businesses and anchor institutions, including manufacturers, municipalities, educational institutions, entrepreneurs, and economic development agencies. We began over 50 years ago as one of the first technical assistance programs in the country, and you can find us at pentap.psu.edu. Pentap has a diverse staff with backgrounds in chemical engineering, electrical engineering, and environmental science. Our staff includes a certified energy auditor, certified energy manager, registered environmental auditor, renewable energy professional, and a Six Sigma Green Belt. We also have several Penn State graduate students that assist with our assessments, and we utilize the knowledge they are gaining in the classroom to bring new ideas to our clients. We work closely with our clients to understand their needs, and we provide direct technical assistance as well as make the appropriate connections to resources within the university and to our Pennsylvania resource partners located throughout the state. Pentap services are offered statewide. We engage with businesses to improve their operations and drive innovation. Our energy and environment technical advisors provide direct technical assistance to companies to identify opportunities where energy consumption and pollution can be reduced at their facility. Our innovation advisors provide technical and entrepreneurial assistance to companies to aid in product development. We also identify ways to assist entrepreneurs and companies with resources to help their business grow. And again, we connect companies with faculty, students, laboratories, and infrastructure of Penn State, as well as our statewide network of economic development partners. The energy and environment technical advisors perform pollution prevention, energy efficiency assessments, also known as P2E2 assessments, where we help you to decrease pollution and increase energy efficiency at your site. The E3 assessments build on the E2 assessment by incorporating lean manufacturing and continuous improvement into the process. An energy management system will provide your company with the framework to integrate energy efficiency into your existing management systems. And building retuning offers those involved in building operations a low-cost approach to energy efficiency. We offer opportunities to Penn State students in the College of Engineering to gain real-world experience by having them assist us with energy audits. And we go beyond energy. We work closely with our clients to understand their needs, and we match them to additional resources within the university and across the state. The Innovation Technical Advisors assist entrepreneurs and strive to connect them to a myriad of resources available to them at Penn State through the EDA University Center and Engage, as well as to our statewide resource partners. Innovation also brings companies to Penn State's Learning Factory. This is an engineering capstone course here at Penn State, and any company sponsoring a project at the Learning Factory is assigned a team of up to 5 Penn State students from various engineering backgrounds to work on your project. Previous sponsors include large corporations, small manufacturers, and even startups. Past Learning Factory projects have included everything from developing lightweight surgical lead vests to 3D printing for replacing obsolete parts. Innovation advisors also connect companies to other capstone courses within other colleges at Penn State, such as the College of Agricultural Sciences. They have a food innovation and product design capstone course. A company will work with a group of students to develop a product or complete a project of the sponsor's choice. The students will work to complete a prototype, which can include tastings and focus group testing, and then provide a presentation for the sponsors about the results. Innovation also helps student entrepreneurs with the first steps in pitching their business ideas and procuring funding. If you are interested in any of the capstone courses I just mentioned, please reach out to our innovation team or me after the presentation. In 2020, Pentap helped 105 companies in 36 counties throughout Pennsylvania to save a total of $2.5 million. We helped to create or save 29 jobs and educated over 600 individuals. We also engaged over 300 students between the Learning Factory and helping assist us with energy assessments. Before we conclude, I'd like to tell you about our upcoming webinars. On April 7th, Pentap will be hosting the Guide for Brewers Energy and Environment Project Implementation webinar from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Join us as we discuss several ways craft brewers and small business owners can recover money and reduce operation costs through energy efficiency projects and best management practices. Join us again on May 20th for the Improve Your Bottom Line, Reduce Metal Manufacturers Processing Energy Waste, also from 11 to 12 p.m., where we will help metal manufacturers to identify cost-effective practices and technologies to increase energy efficiency, prevent pollution, operate more efficiently, and reduce operating costs. Be sure to visit the Pentap website to stay connected and be informed of upcoming Pentap news, webinars, and workshops. And be sure to check out the energy toolkits on our website. The toolkits are free to use and are filled with resources to help you estimate the potential savings from energy efficiency projects in your home or at your facility. The toolkit is divided into 4 sectors: commercial, manufacturers, residential, and schools or municipalities, and provides the user with energy cost calculators, fact sheets, and supplemental resources. And remember, once you are done, contact Pentap for a professional energy audit to narrow down where to begin your next energy efficiency projects. Our audits are at no cost to small manufacturers throughout the state of Pennsylvania. At this time, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join me to learn more about how to reduce your energy consumption, conserve water, and reduce waste during your manufacturing process. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask via the chat pod, or you can send me an email directly at jsm148@psu.edu. We do have one question from Blair McKenzie asking, can you provide a list of companies that would pick up our recycling in Bedford, PA? They seem to have a hard time considering anyone to consider coming to help in our recycling efforts. I do have a list that we have compiled. It has basically every company throughout the state. And I would be happy to provide that to you after the webinar is over. Are there any other questions? I'll give just a few more minutes. We have a question from Dr. William Gordon. Are you aware of any efforts to employ machining learning in the areas of energy efficiency improvements? Are you talking about systems that monitor the machines, or more of a, for lack of a better description, artificial intelligence? AI or machine learning. I have not, I've heard of it here and there, but I have not seen any clients implement as such. I do have one client who has this amazing compressed air system that actually responds to the demand of the compressed air, rotates their compressors, monitors usage at every station. And I think that would be the closest I have seen. It would be interesting to see that developed a bit more, because I would think that, you know, it could really learn your process and decide where the best areas to increase efficiency are, and ways to lower energy. I'm not sure if that answered your question. You're welcome. Give it just a couple more minutes. Well, if there is no other questions, we will conclude for today. I'd like to thank you again for taking your time to join me. If you should think of something after this webinar, again, feel free to call me at 865-4542. That's area code 814, or you can email me at jsm148@psu.edu. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.